Alright, I'm gonna be honest, I don't really like raids that much. I'm really more of a PvP player. But you know what I do like? For whatever reason, you want raid gear without doing a raid. So stare no longer at your empty collections, for there is one raid that you can procure gear from without the help of a raid team. The Last Wish. I should also mention that there's a way to solo Spoils of Conquest for purchasing things like Anarchy from the kiosk and the tower, but it takes a long time to do. I'll show you later in the video. So here we go. First off, start by entering the raid from the Dreaming City and follow the path as shown here. Once you make it to this weird looking room, you're going to want to type a code. Now this is what takes the most time in the process, and it's honestly pretty boring. There are a total of 20 symbols that you can cycle through by shooting these circles. There are 4 fish, 4 snakes, 4 dragons, and 4 birds in that order. While you're doing this, make sure not to step on the glowing circle on the ground until you're done, since it submits your code. I recommend equipping high fire rate weapons with large magazines and high reserves to make this part a bit faster. Honestly, Kvostov works perfectly for this part. Make sure to avoid perks like explosive payloads, ricochet rounds, or anything else that might hit multiple circles or hit the same circle twice. So for the first chest, enter the code you see here on the screen. I'll have a link in the description to the JPEGs so you don't have to keep coming back to this video every single week. You can just save them to your desktop. Once you're complete, step into the circle in the middle and wait for the message "you wish to stay here forever" to appear on the bottom left. If it doesn't, you've done this part wrong. You'll die and it'll transport you to this area where you want to do a 180 and look at the bridge behind you. Now is a good time to equip some mobility exotics or even use a sword for the third person perspective if that's your thing. You're basically following along the bridge, jumping on rocks until you reach the chest. Follow the path you see here. Try and be careful on this last jump since the angle is pretty weird trying to land on this ledge. And if you plan on switching characters with a friend so that you can get all of the chests without having to type the code every time, do keep in mind the chest has about a 10 or 15 minute timer, so you gotta be kinda quick about it. Alright, no hunters allowed for this next chest. Sad, I know. Make sure you bring raid banners. Your Warlock's going to want to run a Burst Glide with Top Tree Solar. And your Titan should run a Sword with Catapult Lift and Lion Rampants. Follow the same path to the code room, but this time the code is a little bit different. Luckily, it is a little bit easier and a little bit quicker. Again, the image is in the description. And once you spawn in, turn around, and the idea is to cross this ridiculously large gap. If you've played a lot of Warlock, you might have an idea how to get to the other side. Warlock has an air ability called Icarus Dash, activated by pressing X or console, I'm not sure what it is, but you can go into your key bindings and check what it is. It's called air ability. This dashes you forward a short distance, but you can only do 2 in a row before they have a cooldown. Luckily, while you're in your super, it dashes you much further and also has no cooldown. This is what you're going to use to get across the gap. Use these dashes sparingly, however, since if you use too many, you'll run out of super before you get to the other side, like 1 every 3 seconds or so. Also, don't worry about pressing jump after dashing, since your character already starts gliding. If you're having difficulties getting to the other side, try doing a running jump as high as you can before activating your super when you jump off the bridge, Also try using an extra jump at the end after you run out of super, using both of your air dodges, or even equipping a sword to do a slash at the end. Once you get across the bridge, go ahead and follow the path I take here. And hilariously, I got kicked by Anteater right before getting to the chest, so I had to do the whole jump over again. Luckily, I was able to use the raid banner this time. And next up, we have Titan. You're basically just going to sword fly across the whole thing. If you know how to do that, you're good for this part. If you don't, however, I'll go ahead and give a brief description, but if you're still having troubles after that, I have a video in the description that's somebody else's guide on how to do it. Again, with Lion Rampants equipped and Catapult Lift and some kind of heavy sword, perform short bursts of jump between sword slashes. These essentially reset your slash and let you keep going forever until you run out of heavy ammo anyways. Again, do this across the ledge. In this clip you see, I actually managed to make it all the way to the chest while still flying. And there you have it, those are both of the last wish chests. Hopefully you guys do get something good, and let me know what you guys want out of these chests. I think it would be interesting to see, what people are really after. And for those of you that are here for Spoils of Conquest, I did earlier say that there was a way to get them. This is through soloing the first secret chest in Deepstone Crypt. The good side? It awards each character with 10 Spoils of Conquest, as well as new rolls of previously acquired Deepstone gear. But the bad side, everything from the kiosk in the tower takes 240 Spoils of Conquest, which means you have to farm this for about 2 months if you want to get anything. For some people, that's way too much of a dedication. Not to mention the fact that this chest, being able to get it solo, is a glitch, so it could be patched any day now, and you would basically have wasted a bunch of time getting all of those spoils if you didn't get enough in time. That is, unless you procured the rest of them by getting them legitimately, doing raids and stuff with other people, but that's not what you're here for, is it? So start off by entering the Deepstone Crypt raid, which is on Europa. Kill this first group of enemies. I would recommend a decently strong loadout, something like Telesto or Jotun or anything that does a lot of damage to take out these two captains, because they're pretty tough. After you kill these guys, this hatch in the back of the room will open up and you can head on through. Follow the very straightforward tunnel to the 2 doors at the end. Do not try to pass through them before they spawn, or you'll be trapped forever. Yeah, you'd think they spawn before you get over there, but I don't know. After waiting an eternity for these doors to open, go on and head through into the bubble. Pick up one of the pikes, bring it over to the door, and wait for your frostbite stacks to stack up to 10 and kill you. Once they do, head back over to the pike, and before exiting that little chamber, jump onto it so that you don't get stacks of frostbite. And obviously get on a sparrow because nobody wants to do this part on a pike. Simply follow this ridiculously obscure and hard to understand path until you get to the chest. I know, easy, right? I left a map in the description in case that helps, but this place is just hard to navigate. As a general rule, I stick to the left along the edge until I find kind of broken up glacier things. If you find this little hill with a light next to it, that's how you know you're on the right path. Keep going in that direction until you find even higher glacier things. Jump along them until you hear brigs. And then jump down next to this tall mountain. If you're looking directly at the brigs in the bubble, look a little bit right and you'll see a crack in the rock. Jump through, and a little bit further is your chest. Now just do this 3 times a week for 8 weeks. Yeah, it sucks. And I mean, this is after they patched the old glitch and people found a new one, so hey, maybe we'll find a third one if they patch this one, who knows. But I mean, it certainly doesn't hurt to have Spoils of Conquest, so if you have extra time on your hands and you've considered raiding in the future, but you don't want to right now, it's not bad to stockpile on them, so you'll have enough for them when you actually do get into it. As you can see, this week I just got enough for Anarchy. I don't make many friends in Crucible anymore. At least it's not Felwinter's. That's going to wrap up this guide. Good luck on your raid gear, and let me know if you've had any questions or anything seemed confusing. Take care.